Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Marina here, and I welcome you to another episode of the series What Nobody Tells You About Life Abroad. If you're new here, my name is Marina. I make videos from Saskatoon, Canada, where I share about my experiences about life as a Nigerian immigrant in Canada. Please do well to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification so that you get notified every time a new video is uploaded. I'm just going to jump right into what I'll be sharing today. Life abroad teaches you a different way to raise children. Especially if you're African, you would have to learn a different way to raise children. I grew up in Nigeria, and as a child I was spoken over. Our parents didn't really talk with us to help us understand things. They talked to us, gave us instructions. You are told what to do, and when you go against that, you are punished, like beaten. Sometimes the beating can start today and end tomorrow. My mother can start beating you from this evening and wake up the next day. When she sees you, she feels like continuing the beating, and she will continue the beating. One of the disadvantages of being a child of a teacher is, man, discipline. They don't joke with you. So there were a lot of things that I didn't do, not because I understood why they were wrong, but it was just the fear of being beaten that stopped me from doing those things. We didn't really know how to talk to our parents. We didn't really understand how to relate with them. You could never question your parents. Like, if they used to born you, ask your parents why when they tell you to do something. You can't. But here it's a very different ball game, in the sense that you will need to be able to sit down and help your children understand why. When you give instructions, you're going to put your children at a disadvantage if they don't understand why you're asking them to do things. It just means that if you say you do it because I tell you to do it, one day somebody else is going to tell them to do something, and they're not going to have the capacity to ask why. If they can't ask you why, chances are they will not ask why outside. If somebody hands them a cigarette in school to say, oh, try this, do you want them to be able to ask why in that context? If you want your children to ever be able to ask people why when they tell them to do things, just know that you are going to be the guinea pig. They will practice with you, and it should be okay. For that to happen, a lot of unlearning of the things that we have always known as this is how to raise children, especially in the African context, we're going to have to unlearn it. You need to be able to put yourself aside and build a relationship with your children to the extent that if something goes wrong, it is you they want to talk to first. Because in this place, there are a lot of things that are competing with the things that you tell your children. There are a lot of things that are competing with the values that we say we have. They are going to school, they are seeing children who are from other cultures, who have been raised in other families. There's conflict between what you tell them and what they see other people do. You want your children to develop the strength, develop the capacity to be able to stand and hold on to the values that you have handed down to them, regardless of what is happening outside. Another major reason why you will need to learn how to talk to your children is because spanking is not legal in a lot of countries. Like in Canada, for instance, legally you are not allowed to beat your children. If you spank them and for some reason they mention it in school, Child Protective Services can knock on your door if they know or get a hint that something is happening at home. The teachers are trained, they know how to get information from children, and the children don't even think they're doing anything wrong. They just answer the question, and before you know, boom, you're in trouble. So you don't want to put yourself in that position where you're constantly checking if they ask my child, do they lie? And you don't want to teach your children to start lying. That's another problem in itself. So you want to find alternative methods. For me, what I had to do is, first of all, I realized that my two children are different. The same method of discipline will not even work for both of them. Their love languages are different, their emotional needs are different. So I find what would serve as punishment for two of them, and that's what I use. So I take away privileges. So it's to understand your children, find out what works for them, and find alternative methods of discipline. That's what's working for me. Number two, get help. For me, I've attended a number of seminars where they talk about parenting. When I hear, I show up. Oh, they're talking about alternative ways. How can you raise confident children? How can you raise children who are aware? I show up for things like that because I want to know. That's another way that I'm learning. Another way that you can build the relationship with your children is to be available for them. Be available, be there when they need to talk. It goes beyond just being in the same house with them. That's not being available. You can be in the same house and not be present. I'm saying you have to be intentional about being a parent. Answer their questions. Don't say for what, don't say that. When children come and ask you, mommy, what does this mean? They have seen it somewhere. And if you don't answer the question, or daddy, what does this mean? If you don't answer those questions, other things will answer the questions. And guys, you want to be the first voice that your children will hear when they have doubts like that. You want your children to be able to stand and say, no, I don't care what happens in your family, but in my family we don't do things like that. So you must have those family values. You must live the values, because at some point they will not hear what you say, they are going to copy what you do. So that's what I've learned. If you don't want your children to be liars, then you don't lie. If you're going to teach them discipline, you must be a disciplined person yourself, and you want to be careful what you are handing down to them. Okay, so the last suggestion I'm going to give on how you can improve this is to do things together. If you do things together, guys, you will build a bond. You will build a culture where children can actually now say, my mommy is my friend, or my daddy is my friend. And guys, there's nothing more rewarding than coming home and your child tells you, mom, this is what happened today, or dad, this is what happened today. What do you think about this? This is what somebody said to me, and this is how it made me feel. You want your children to be able to trust you with how they feel. You want your children to be able to trust you with their insecurities. You want them to be able to trust you with what's going on with them, because a lot is going on with immigrant children. Some of these people are the only black kids in their classes. The identity crisis is going to come in at some point. The validation that children need to be stable must first start from you as the parents. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. Parenting is a full-time job. It is very different from how it is back home, you know. So yeah, guys, that's what I'm going to be sharing today on this. As usual, please share your experiences. If you have children and you're living in a country other than your home country, how do you manage that? What alternative methods of discipline, what are you doing? What have you had to unlearn, or what new things are you learning in the act of parenting children away from your home country? Please share your experiences as usual. I'd like to hear from you. Thank you very much for coming back, and I hope that you have learned something from this. Until I see you on the next episode of What Nobody Tells You About Life Abroad, it's Marina saying thank you and have a great day. Bye bye.